Welcome, everybody. My name is Rachel Payne, and I'm with Transitional Healthcare Consultants, and we are here with Ozark Christian Church, Carrie Miller, pastor, and I would like to introduce you to my friend Liberty Jones. She's with New Vera Rise, and today we are going to start episode 1 of Liberty's story on how she experienced hope in her life. Thank you, Liberty. Please tell us about your story.
Thank
today.
you. Thank you, first of all. Thank you so much for having me. And I love that we just met yesterday and this is such an incredible opportunity. So thank you so much for giving
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. We're blessed.
Yeah, sorry.
It's
Okay.
okay, he'll edit it. We have a few moments. So tell me how you were able to rise above your story and find hope in your life.
Yeah. Wow. It's an incredible story. It's been a journey. It's not just been one thing. But I realized that I was holding on to a lot of the past. And so for me, like, I grew up in a Christian home, you could say, and I was taught, what was right and what was wrong, and growing up in a family that looked more at what was wrong and didn't represent Christ, it made me feel like I didn't fit in, made me feel resentful towards myself for not being able to fit in. It made me feel resentment towards my family and how I was raised, and it really made me feel resentment towards God because I could see him doing great things in people's lives and I felt left behind. I felt like I wasn't enough, and I was so consumed by my anxiety, and I labeled myself before anyone else did as like a freak. I remember going to bed at night at 8 years old and my mind is just running so much and I'm just crying because why can't I be normal?
Oh man, that's a lot for an 8-year-old to think about.
It is a lot, and I didn't feel like I had that emotional like love and support. And this is not bashing parents because a lot of parents do the best that they can with what they know, and just in my experience, they didn't know, and so I had to try to regulate myself. I had to try to find myself, and I wasn't able to. And so in every groups, growing up, I would think, well, I don't fit in. Oh, well, no one else is thinking these things. Well, people are judging like how I talk, and I'm saying words weird, and I'm stumbling over my words, and I don't look the same, and my clothes aren't new because they're thrift shopped, and
Right.
and different things. And as I grew up, I didn't feel God, and I didn't understand why. And because I didn't have a great relationship with my dad, when they talked in the Bible about how like God is our father, I was like, well, I have a terrible dad. And that was something that I just like continued to tell myself, and it really put a barrier up between getting to know God more. And so I felt, people would talk about, oh, lukewarm Christians, and I was like, yeah, I guess I'm just terrible. I guess I just don't know, and now I'm over here by myself, just isolating myself because everyone else seems to be getting it figured out.
Right.
Everyone else seems to be fine, and I was feeling a lot of depression and a lot of anxiety, and I didn't feel like myself because I didn't know what that would feel like. Because in all the groups, I tried to change myself to fit in. I tried to serve God. I tried to do all these things, and then I'm seeing these people that were serving God, and they're saying, oh, you can do this, and just it was not a correct representation of God. And I think finally when I got to my early 20s, I was thinking, like, is this my life? Is this, I'm just going to live forever just hating myself, just feeling so much anxiety, and why? Like, why was I created? What's the point of this? And I had found this podcast, and it helped me start to realize, well, I didn't know God. I've had this resentment, but what if I retry? Because I cannot live my whole life like this. It's not going to be, I can't do it. And so I started to correlate just growing up how I had internalized so much, and how for myself I just viewed myself as this overthinker, this person that doesn't fit in, this person that's depressed, and everyone else seems fine. And so on the outside I was fine. I was trying to be the center of attention. I tried to make people laugh because I knew what it was like to cry so hard by yourself, and so I wanted to give people that joy, but it wasn't real joy.
Right.
And I wanted that real joy.
Sure, you did.
And it seemed so out of reach. And I started to correlate, wow, so I had this upbringing by a father figure, and then how I correlated it with God, and that's how I thought God was. I thought he was judging. I thought I couldn't do anything right. I thought that I wasn't worth it. And I started to really try to dive into that identity in God. And I didn't know what that meant when I started. I just didn't have any idea in who I was. And I craved that so much, and I think that's what pushed me.
And do you think trying to, as you say, fit in caused you to not fully know who you are, or maybe you knew who you were, but fitting in is kind of what a lot of people feel like today.
Yeah.
I don't fit in. Well, what is fitting in?
It's fitting in now. I'm seeing fitting in is accepting myself, but it's hard to accept yourself if you don't know yourself.
Right.
And so realizing, I guess I'm going to come back to what you said. I just wanted to give a little backstory of because I went in every group, I just tried to change things about myself. I didn't have a core belief in like, this is liberty. It was like, okay, my friends like this, I'm going to do this. This seems like people like, I'm going to do that. And when I started realizing that it was because I didn't know myself, and I had to kind of take a step back and look at finding who I actually am, not who the thoughts tell me I am. And then once I started doing that then starts to lead to acceptance. It doesn't go from no identity to acceptance. And when people say that, it's like, well, that doesn't seem possible for me. And it's like, it's a journey. Absolutely. But you have to acknowledge the one place that you're at and see, okay, I don't know. And that's okay not to know. And then start the journey to then get to a place of acceptance, because that, it changes everything.
And when you were trying to fit in, did you feel stress from yourself and then stress of others identifying that you were trying to just fit in and feel a part of them? Did you feel that? Did you have any backlash from any of those individuals when you were experiencing that?
Yes, it was so much stress for myself, and the expectations I put on myself, and then the disappointment that I would feel when I didn't feel like I met those expectations would push me even farther. And then people would, say, oh, Liberty's like this, or she's like this, and I'm like, they're picking up these things that I'm not trying to show, and then it's making me feel worse, and it's so much pressure from every direction.
So how would you best describe yourself, how you were able to not fit in and be yourself and find the things you enjoy and not worry about the other groups or the other people that you weren't fitting in with?
Yeah. So for me, something that comes to mind is focus on purpose and not on self.
Absolutely.
And I was so focused on myself and worried so much about that. And it's like, that is not all me, right? That goes back to identity, and then realizing that's not me. And I was created by God, the same person that creates the leaves and those beautiful things. And it's like, I was created for a purpose. And so looking at who God says that I am instead of who I've told myself I am.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. Thank you.
I guess I should say.
That's good.